Giacomo's. Sal, he's the man. Giacomo's Italian Market. We had him on the podcast. We're doing a pop-up together. I don't know if I've met anyone who as real as Sal. He hugs me every time I see him. I love Sal. And you know what else I love about him? His food. His food is fantastic. It's an Italian Market right over there on College Hill. He's got sausages. He's got his own soda now. There's pasta, there's the rice balls. There is so much stuff over there that is just unique and special. And then you got the menu. The breakfast sandwich I was lucky enough to have, that's killer. The sausage sandwich is killer. The sausage itself is killer. The cheesesteak is killer. Giacomo's is such a unique thing to this area, and I'm so happy it's like 10 minutes from the studio. But Giacomo's, man, they are on... 700 Cattell Street in Easton, College Hill, and you can go to giacomositalianmarket.com. I cannot wait to do more things with him. I'm selling his sausage sandwich called the G-Spot. We're doing that on our pop-ups. So that is Giacomo's Italian Market. Please go check them out. Love them to death. They are a new sponsor, and thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Mindleaf CBD. I'm a lot calmer with this read. You know why? Because I'm using these products from Mindleaf. Liz came on the show multiple times. Awesome story on how she got into this. They are making all their products. We got the barbecue pretzels. The pretzels are fire. The tinctures, those are my big thing that I use. I go to sleep with those. The tinctures knock this groundhog out every time I go to bed. The CBD gummies are great, and the Delta 8s. The Delta 8s are fantastic. They'll put you on the moon. I enjoy that. Seriously though, this is a fantastic CBD product. I stand behind it. I got to use all of their stuff, and it is 100% the go-to thing I use now for joint pain, for going to sleep. The snacks are awesome as well. It's just an added bonus. I'll go over to the store and pick those up. Liz is one of a kind. You can follow their social media, Mindleaf CBD, and then it's mindleafcbd.com that you can order all their stuff online. So if you're not local to the area, if you are local, I suggest you go over to the shop. They have a really cool shop over on College Hill. It's actually close to Giacomo's, which is another sponsor. But that's Mindleaf CBD. Get your tinctures, get your Delta 8s, get your gummies, get all of your CBD needs from Mindleaf. We're doing pop-ups and things together as well. So follow their social media. We are connecting them into the network. So go support them because they support me. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. fiveanddimeeaston.com. They have their website officially up. You can shop most of their stuff online. They also have Fucked. They have Fucked in the store. I think they're the only one allowed to sell Fucked out of their store. It's 484-544-4719. That's at 5 and Dime Easton on social media. These guys are great. I mean, they're killing it. It's the best skate shop, in my opinion, in the area. They have a lot of cool stuff there. Both the owners are rad. I stop in when I can. They're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 7, and Sunday, 11 to 5. There is someone always there to help you out with your needs. You can check their inventory off the website. You can check out some videos they got on there, and they're doing some cool things. Their social media is awesome. They support a lot of local skaters in the area, and they're growing. I'm excited to be a part of them growing. I'm excited to help them out. They're helping me out. It's a good relationship, and I push 5 and Dime Easton because they're the best skate shop in the area. Check them out. Eric K. Dowdle, defense attorney. We had him on the show, and what crazy stories this guy's had. He's helped a ton of people over the years, and if you're looking for help, he is your guy. You can contact them at 610-882-3000, and it's ekdefense.com. Do you have a pending court case? Do you have a court appearance and need a defense lawyer? Do you need proper representation? Felony, misdemeanor, drug offense, assault, homicide, DUI, traffic violation, appeals. Reach out to Eric. Check out the podcast we did with him as well. It has his whole story on there. If you need help, Eric is here to help you. He sponsors the show. We appreciate it. He's going to be doing a monthly thing with us. Eric will be a part of the family now. Thank you for sponsoring.
Get up over it.
Like, when their fucking back hurts. Yeah, the convention up at Scranton, they didn't do it last year because of all the shutdowns and shit. So this year it's coming back, and it's a lot of traditional artists go up there, and it's usually the time I get tattooed by my buddy Stevie P. So it was like once a year. I was just constantly just one tattoo a year and just going up there.
Yeah.
Your hand's dope. Who did it?
Joshua Thrivage.
What shop is that out of?
Ray Gun Samurai.
Pull that in just a little bit closer.
This is my hand. Should I do it like this?
Yeah, but I meant pull the mic in a little closer.
Oh, pull the mic in a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Thrivage. He did that on my hand. He's done a bunch of mine. He did the one on my elbows. He's been filling in gaps for me because...
Yeah, that's what I did with this arm is I just got random stuff, and now you got little gappies to fill up.
They're annoying. So we're getting into gaps and stuff. I might get some brass
They're
knuckles
like
over here.
stupid places that hurt in weird spots.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like webbing and like back of your elbow.
It sucks.
Yeah. What are you getting on the other hand?
I'm thinking about Aku, but... Oop, that's my...
You're good. I got to set a timer anyway.
I was thinking about Aku, but then my wife to be didn't stop me with this last hand tattoo. She's like, I was like, I'm gonna get this tattoo like on Tuesday or whatever, and I go and she's like, I'm like, because the hand tattoos, so I'm like text her, I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna get this, like, are you cool with this? And she's like, are you gonna get it colored? I'm like, that's all I needed to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then if she would have stopped me, I wouldn't have got it. But then I was like, then the next week I was like, I'm gonna get my other hand done, and then she stopped me. So I'm gonna give her like 6 months, then I'll go get my other hand done.
Yeah. Wait till she's busy with like wedding planning or something.
Yeah.
And then be like, hey, I was fine.
We call that leaning on the door till it opens.
That's a pro move.
We just lean on the door till it opens.
I haven't seen you, or we haven't done a pod since Tiger King, man. How crazy was that? You called me.
Yeah, someone hit me up. They're like, dude, you're on fucking Tiger King. I'm like, what? It was like 8 a.m. And I'm like rolling out of bed. I'm like, what? And yeah, we're on Tiger King, right?
I think you texted or called. I think you called, and I was just like down here getting ready for the day, and you're like, we're on Tiger King, and I was like, cool. Like, what do you mean? And you're like, we're on the new season of Tiger King, and I'm like I couldn't comprehend what you meant by we're on, and you're like, go to this, and then I was like, it's Now We Go. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And immediately it all flooded back, and I was like, we just ripped, like, for the first 20 minutes on that, we just shit talked everybody. And then they like introduced how everyone was talking shit on Tiger King with us.
Right. Yeah, perfect.
It was a fun day. Everyone's like, what'd you get out of it? And I was like, text messages.
We understood the assignment, dude.
Yeah. That was fun.
So free. I mean, hey. It would have been cool if they put our Instagrams or something on there. But.
Yeah, I don't think I watch Sam Roberts, the Jim and Sam show, and they said on there that they knew nothing of it, and they're like a Sirius XM show, so like I don't think they asked anyone to use any footage on anything. But I mean, if they would have called and said, hey, we're not doing anything but putting this on there, I wouldn't have said no.
Right.
Like someone was like, get a lawyer. And I was like, I don't. Somebody actually approached me and was like, hey, the guy in town would like to talk to you. And I was like, well, does he want to do everything for free? And then the conversation stopped.
Classic.
You want me to go after Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm barely holding on here.
Come on, man.
You saying get your weather together? That's all I say to people now.
Well, that's
what is that from?
This pimp I watch.
Is it from
There's a YouTube series called Soft White Underbelly, and it's got all these like different personalities on there. The dude that used to work for Apple, he quit Apple and like started this YouTube project where he just interviews people in like in downtown Los Angeles. Like he'll just random prostitutes and criminals and gangsters, all different types of people. He's had famous people on. But then the one I found and I liked, the guy's name is Sharp.
Yes. Yeah.
Sharp the pimp, and well, he's not a pimp. He maybe have dabbled in it. I don't want to allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and he was just kicking a lot of game. Like Mark was just asking, the guy was just asking him a lot of questions, and he was just kicking a lot of game. And one of the things he was saying was how how these new guys are like, if you're gonna do it for real. And he's like, get your weather together. That's like one of his things. And like, I just took it.
I know. Well, I saw you, you started posting his stuff all the time. And then when you started saying that, we'll get into what you're doing now, but you were like, get your weather together. And I was talking to somebody the other day and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, get your weather together.
Yeah.
And then, they kind of paused and then I said it again later. And then they were like, you could tell like they liked the saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says everything that needs to be said. Just get your weather together, dude.
Do you catch a lot of flack for doing the social media shit that you do?
Yeah, all the time.
Do people like take you seriously? Do they get in your DMs and like, what the fuck's your problem?
No, I've been getting a lot of positive responses lately just because of the message, So, people can take it however they want. If I say something and it bothers you, that's you need to take a look in the mirror. You know? If I'm talking about being accountable and being like, I don't even know what to call it, but just being your best self and you're falling short of your best self, you're probably going to take it away that you don't need to take it. But people get sensitive to shit. No one, like the one time I put up a picture of a guy with his face scratched out because he quit. Like he quit jiu-jitsu and I like scratched his face out because I liked the picture, but I didn't want, you know what I mean? So, and he called me or he texted me all kinds of craziness and I was just like, I just block him. Nowadays you just block people, but 9 out of 10, it's just super positive. Like people are into what I'm saying and it's just, because for a while there, like my social media was just whatever I felt at the time. Like I would just go on my Instagram and just want to blow off steam. So I would like say some negative shit on my Instagram all the time, which isn't really what you're trying to do on Instagram. You want to attract people to you, not to tell people to go suck your dick. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you want to tell people like, hey, good things, So I had to kind of relearn Instagram a little bit, and now it's like a format. Like it's not even up to me. Like I post the same thing every day.
Well, the way I looked at it was that you were working stuff out. I mean, I get with blowing off steam, but then seeing what you're doing now, I saw the transition of what you were taking, the format, and it's not easy to come up with a format, and you have to keep.
Oh, I didn't come up with that.
What I'm saying is, like, getting on and like being in front of the camera and saying shit all the time, like sometimes it just takes repetitively doing that until you're comfortable with like, oh, all right, well, like how I do social media now, I learned from hiking, I learned from pushing podcasts, and then like now I've developed a system that works into an algorithm, but you can't build an algorithm without just doing anything. Whether or not you were just blowing off steam or whatever, you've now turned that into, cool, I can do this style, but now it's in a different fashion.
Yeah. Like one of the things I learned right away, like one of the biggest things was just getting on camera yourself. Like a lot of people like to share like people that inspire them on their story, like people like a Jordan Peterson or like a, whoever, like a Michael Jordan or whatever clip that they inspired them, and they're trying to get on camera yourself and say the same thing in your own words, because really all that wisdom, like all the things that Jordan Peterson says, like we've all done the same things or been in the same spots. It's not like it resonates with you because it's true, like across whatever you're doing, right? But like, I'm not like this big Jordan Peterson. There's a lot of guys that just like absolutely nut hug that dude, and his life's kind of a mess. You know what I mean? Like he's not really like, for a guy that gives a lot of life advice, he really
was that the guy you posted that he said to like keep things organized,
keep your room clean, and he's just fucking trashed. His whole place is trashed. It's like, dude, take your own advice, man. You know what I mean?
I laugh pretty hard at some of the stuff that you post.
Yeah, no,
but I like it. Like you came down for the pizza pop-up thing, and I texted you the next day, and I said it to Ricky when I did Ricky's podcast. I was like, dude, I said it's refreshing to see somebody do what they want and not be afraid to hear backlash or any bullshit, especially in a time now. But you also do it in person. So, sometimes you need somebody to level that room out, or it just starts getting a little, then, especially sometimes when there's too much of something and then you feel like you can't say something. So it's nice to have somebody come down and here we go.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that's just going to get weirder. Thank you.
If I'm needed, I'll be there. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I like, I like being myself. So, yeah, it all has to match, dude. Like, it's not like a thing that I'm, the guy that I actually learned a lot from over the last couple of months was this dude, Wes Watson, who was like a YouTube guy. He actually went to jail for like 10 years. This is like a great commercial for Wes Watson, but he went to jail for a long time, and he just talks about how he dealt with being in jail for 10 years, and like he just talks about his jail stories, and now he's like on Instagram driving Rolls Royces and just getting people jacked and ripped. That's who this program was, and like I paid for his program to like kind of get in shape, and because like I remember seeing a picture of me on vacation last summer, and it was just I was starting to get a gut and stuff, like, and I can't, in my line of work, it's not really like I can't really do that, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I don't feel my best. If I'm not feeling at my best, how am I going to get other people to feel good? So, but yeah, I started on his program, and that was like a 6-month thing. And he just hits you with like a text message. You get it on his website, you opt into his website and he hits you with his offer, and it's like you can do this, this, and that. Like he's got his prices all the way down from $49 a month all the way up to like $7,500 for 3 months. You know what I mean? Like he's got all types of offers, you know? So just learning how, like I never bought shit before, like myself, you know what I mean? Like we bought stuff for the business and stuff, but not really like.
You guys made a lot of sacrifices.
Well, yeah, everybody does. But I didn't even get to buy things, you know? So I got on this program, I got jacked. I went and bought that. That was like a $1,300 investment right there. But now I'm like in great shape. Like now I'm jacked. I live 6 days a week for the last like 7 months. I feel great. I eat better. You know, my energy's better. Like I've learned to be accountable to like my energy, my frequency. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're feeling like shit, it's because you're supposed to feel like shit. Like regret is a thing that you can use to kind of like be like, oh, I regretted that decision. Maybe don't do that next time, asshole. Like, do this, you know? So, like, and, you know, I didn't like how I was feeling like just, because life for a minute there was just kicking me in my nuts all the time. Like, people were dying, people were fucking, you know, it was a very emotional couple last 2-3 years, you know, I'm sure it was for everyone. With coronavirus, I had some deaths in the family. I had, my son was born, you know, the new business. It's just very, you know, Grace winning, being like, #1 in the world. It was like, that was like a 10-year thing that just came to fruition. So it was like a very weird time. So I just decided to like, you know, I found Wes Watson. He's just talking every day on his YouTube about like these things, that his message, and I really resonated with it. I was like, that's something, you know, so I spent like $1,300 on 6 months of training with him. And I did it because when you spend money like that, you want to get what you paid for. So it's not like you sign up at Planet Fitness for $10 and you don't give a fuck. Like,
it doesn't matter if you don't make that month because it's $10. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. So, and I've learned that with just running my business is just always like, if you have an idea, put money on it. Like, because, you know, if you're wrong, you learn. And most of the 9 out of 10 though, when I'm putting money into it, it's the right move. Like some way it's going to work out for me. And then I did his business coaching, and that was like another 3.
So this was all different, like he's got, you kind of go on the website and then there's like, he offers all these different things that he can help you out. So you can get fitness in one section, and then over here it's like, hey, well, I'm running a business. So if you want to learn how to run this business or business in general, I can also help you out with that. Yeah, so I got him, I signed up for that. So, I mean, the last couple months I like spent some money. Like I spent that program, and that kind of inspired me to like get the charger, you know, that was way out of my comfort zone. My parents were probably looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, like, but I don't know, it's just that thing, everything has to match. That's one of my things that I say too, like because it all has to match. Like if I feel like that, like I want to feel like that car. Like I don't want to feel like, you know what I mean? Like yeah, I still go to work, but I'm not driving in cold fucking weather. Like that's got heated seats and shit. You know what I mean? It's like just an attitude. It's like a mentality. Absolutely.
Like a mindset.
I've had friends who don't do stuff like that, and I have friends that you know, run businesses, and you know, I always get advice from him, and he would say like, I like having a nice car. When I'm driving to work, I feel like a businessman because I'm in a businessman's car, and then that keeps my mentality of what I need to get done on a daily basis instead of getting into something and you're like, you know, I've driven beaters, and you know what I mean? Like it don't feel good when you're driving somewhere and your shit's falling off, and then, you know, it is a way and a tool that you can use to keep everything together. Yeah, the mindset. Like that's why the same thing. It's like I need to constantly be reminded of like, yeah, you are that fucking dude. Like stop selling yourself the short, because like look what we've done. Everyone knows what we've done and like where we came from, and so like I constantly need to be reminded of that, because you still see yourself as just the guy from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? Like So I need to stop listening to people that I didn't want to be like. You know what I mean? People with like jobs that they work, and that's fine. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this business thing. I want to be a personality. I want to be someone that people listen to, you know, that people go to when they need something. You know what I mean? I want to be like, have that. So you have to move different, you know? So the car, and then I signed up for business coaching. So now I'm getting on the phone with Wes Watson, a Zoom call. He's getting on the Zoom call with me, and he's talking to me about like, he's trying to figure out who I am and this and that. And he's like, dude, you got like this many followers, you're gonna be killing it off this. Like I work with people that are like he's like, dude, I don't work with dudes like you. I work with dudes that like have nothing, like they just got out of jail and shit. He's like, you should be fucking crushing. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like I'm not even fucking giving myself the gas. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's been fun. So I've been like doing basically what I just got done doing, I'm doing with other people now. So that's what everyone does, right? You learn something, you master it, you teach it. You know, that's what I've been doing forever, doing jiu-jitsu the same way. You know, so and it's taken me, it's more so like I started doing that and it almost pushed people into jiu-jitsu. Does that make sense? Like all the mental stuff I've been training and all the like the little things I've been saying to myself, like it's come across in my teaching at the class, and my classes are like packed every day. I teach class, like my classes are like, you know, it's a solid number. It's like a lot of people training, so it's not like I didn't even give a fuck about the money. Like I wasn't like gonna be like I'm gonna make 50 grand a month doing this fitness thing, you know. I was gonna do it anyway. Like if I could help one person drop 30 pounds and get ready for their wedding, that's the shit. Like that's awesome. That makes me feel good. Like when I help someone like achieve a goal. Like that's because that gives me something to do. You know what I mean? Like, because there ain't shit to do. People that act busy in Bethlehem, there ain't shit to do here. Like, what are you busy doing? You're not busy. Like, you might be busy, but you're not that busy. You know what I mean? So, like, I would have a lot of free time, and then that's when it comes into smoking weed and drinking. And, like, you know, the kid, I didn't even, like, once the kid came, I didn't really enjoy smoking weed as much. Like, I'm like, I'll drink here and there, but like there's no reason to drink during the week or anything like that for me, like anymore. Like it just doesn't serve me. Like it's only, and I talked about that a lot too. Like it's just taking from you. Like no one's your best self when you're drunk.
No, I mean, when I quit drinking for the 10 years that I did, I was just like, wow, like you don't get anything out of that. Like you gain weight, you do stupid shit that you regret. Half the time you don't remember anything. And then I was just like, the one day I was like, well, what do you get back from alcohol? You get nothing from it at all. And a lot of times I think there are people bored or like, you know, there was a lot that you said that made a lot of sense. And, you know, it's awesome points. Like if you are like surrounded around people who have a 9 to 5 and do that, they're the people that are giving you doubts on a daily basis if you talk to them about the things that you're trying to do, right? Because they're people that don't normally go after trying to do stuff. So then it is hard to, you know, and I always say it when the Finisher guys come on, I'm like, it's always such a blessing to have you and Zach around. I don't have a lot of business. I mean, I have like maybe 4 friends who are running businesses, but like those are now all the people that I'm really only talking to my business about and kind of like separate things. But, you know, and also there isn't really anything to do around here. So it's like you can totally get into a trap of just drinking and smoking during the week. And if you don't get out of that, you're just kind of doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, you drink a lot. Like you don't realize how much you're drinking or whatever. You know? And the food too. You know, so I got myself in good shape. Like, you know, you're running to what breaks you down instead of to what builds you. That's something that Wes says. Like you should learn to run to what builds you up instead of what breaks you down. Because everything is like everyone looks to external things for like to help them. Like when they're escaping reality. Like when you're drinking, you're trying to get out of like, you're not happy. So you're trying, maybe you are happy or like, I don't know, but like a lot of times people are happy just because shit goes right on accident. You know what I mean? Just by circumstance. So they're high for a little bit and then they come back down and then it's just whatever. But like when you learn to like discipline yourself and just like, and I knew that already. Like I already, like when I paid for Wes's program and started doing everything he told me to do, I'm like, I fucking knew this already. I'm just a dumbass that needed to pay for it and fucking do it. Like, and that's, you know, a lot of people find that. Like a lot of people's like weightlifting thing is awesome. Like there's a lot of different ways people do things and it's not, my shit is so basic. Like it's the most basic shit, but it's just the fact of you're doing it every day. Like I wake up at 4:30 every morning and I go lift weights before anyone's up and I might get like 2-3 things done by the time 8 a.m. rolls around. My day is pretty much, I already won. You know what I mean? By 8 o'clock, I'm already winning in the day. So, and then I feel better at jiu-jitsu. Like when I do jiu-jitsu now, I'm like rolling more rounds. My body's healthier. I'm not getting injured as much. So it just added, I just wanted to pick that right up and just add it in, you know? So, yeah, I've been doing that. And then I've been coaching people like this one dude. I got this one dude, Phil, like I put a Facebook post up and he hit me up. He was like a dad with 3 kids, super successful guy. Got out of shape, wants to get back in shape, and paid me for the year. You know what I mean? He's one of my best guys. He paid out for the whole year. Like I'm like, damn, all right, cool. Like I just made, you know, $2,000 on a Facebook post. You know, but now that guy I'm responsible for that guy for a year. You know what I mean? Like I'm in that fitness journey with him for that year, you know? So you know, I hit him up and make sure he's doing good on his meals. And most people aren't as like serious as I am, but when you're like the coach, you have to be 10 levels higher than everyone else. How are you going to be a coach if you're...
That's true.
You know what I mean? You have to be working harder than everyone else. How you gonna tell someone like, dude, you're not fucking... You said with your fucking own mouth like that you were gonna do this and you're not doing it. Like that's like the definition of like what a man is. Like a man holds his word. You know what I mean? Like fucking you said that shit. Like go fucking do it. Like you don't like if you give up on it, you're just going to be salty at people that didn't give up on it. You know what I mean? Like, you're just, like, you knew you wanted that. The second you got one tattoo on your arm and, like, you're all skinny, like, you know you want to be jacked and tatted. Like, why are you going to hate on guys that are, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know you wanted to have muscles and be tattooed. So why are you acting like you don't want to be? Like, don't quit on that shit. But you can always start again, and, like, people have, like, little things. But he, you know, right away, he's like, just because they have someone
Was he
to
your
talk
first
to,
client?
I think LP was my first client. She's getting ready for a wedding. I have like 6 or 8, and then I have 2 guys coming with me in the morning. They don't even pay me. You know, they're just 2 guys that are like, the one guy has a family, and this other kid, Lou, was living out his car not long ago, so he just got an apartment. So, but he's going to pay me before. He's like, I'm going to get tattoos. I'm like, fuck you are. You're going to pay me first before you go get tattoos.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Let
the
me
coach
see
for,
your
though.
fucking guy. Go get tattoo you for free, motherfucker. But, you know, so those guys come in with me every weekday, Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. because we have that gym in the back.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I like being in there when no one else is in there, you know. So I do that, and then, you know, just same old jiu-jitsu class thing, and I'm helping other guys because now I'm working on my business thing, my like just how I offer people the program, and that all helps with the martial arts school. You know what I mean? So like guys are trying to figure out how their little hustle is going, and I'm trying to help them with their thing, and I'm just talking to them. Like I'll hit Ricky up and be like, "Yo, I just want to see like what he's doing. Like, yo, like what's his enrollment like? You know what I mean? Like, because I'll chop up.
I didn't know
business
he
all the
was
time.
doing any of that stuff until I interviewed him.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I was like, dude, I didn't know you were doing any of that at all. I just thought you were doing the classes, and I would see him over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so like or Bryant does like that's his gym, you know what I mean? He invested all that money in that equipment, that's his gym. So my thing is online. Like I give you the blueprint. Like literally if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to drop weight or you're going to add weight and you're going to be shredded. Like do I look shredded on camera right now? Like go back to the last
I see your pictures, man. You're in
I'm
fantastic
fucking
shape.
Shredded right now, dude. But, you know, I eat clean during the week, like, and at first it was like I would eat clean during a week, and then Friday night would come, and I would be like, "Ooh, let's crush." You know what I mean? Like I would crush food, but it's not that big a deal when you're already in shape.
Yes.
You know, like when you're already in shape, you can cheat a little bit, but like I would still drink on the weekend and stuff like that. And then it got to a point where like, man, what if I just didn't drink for like a weekend or 2? And that becomes like that control. That's what I like the most, like just being in control of the situation, and like people pick up on it, man, because you're operating at this like level where you don't need shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't need this outside shit. So like people and you're just like, it's not like you're like flashing. It's like you're glowing. It's like an internal glow.
And you also start picking up time and things that, like the biggest thing for me was when I got Sundays back in my life, and I was like, oh, you're not supposed to be vomiting and hungover every Sunday from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, nice.
And then I was just like, oh, I have a day. And then I was like, oh my God, like you got a day back in your life, like a full day.
Yeah.
And then now that like kind of sticks with me sometimes, where I start like paying attention to more control with drinking now. And I don't know if it's just getting older or like, you know, I did learn a lot with that time off, but like there is something about when you get through the weekend without needing vices or distractions like that. And I like staying like on top of projects and stuff. I don't know, like you explaining how all this goes on, it makes sense as to how your social media is the way it is like you kind of like filled your brain up now with something to do constantly. And like this has got to be nonstop where you're like keeping up with you know the clients and all that, and you're just constantly moving. Then you got class, and you know there wouldn't be a way. I don't even know if you could do this if you weren't in the shape that you are and doing the things that you're doing, because you're operating at an extremely high level.
Nice, man. Yeah, it has to I hate downtime, because then that's when the
gets
just
weird.
Negative. It just gets negative, or it gets you know, even like you're looking at what other people are doing, like what the fuck, like you're just
it's where like
creating bullshit.
When you were saying earlier like how it's hard to, you know, to look at yourself as JM Holland, how others do, how that guy was like, dude, you have a following and all this. That time when you're alone, that's when like the gas is coming out. You know what I mean? What is for me, where it's like you just start sitting around doing nothing. You start, oh, well, I am nothing.
Yeah.
And that's when I stay busy and I'm on top of shit. And like, dude, like my weekend was nuts. And then I got in a car and then drove to Connecticut and tested an oven. And like, not like when I'm like, I came back yesterday and I was exhausted, but I was like, yeah, I like that pace, man.
Yeah.
That's a pace. You need to get back to that pace. You need to be on top of all your shit. And when you're on that level, I feel like that's where, how it is personally for me, where I actually see myself as the version that others do. If I'm just sitting around here buying time and wishing and hoping things are working out, not staying on top of calls and not going, like the fact that you said that, like you put out that Facebook post and made that money, sometimes I'll be like, yo, you're not telling anybody that you have a sponsorship program for this thing, and you want more sponsors. What are you doing? And then I'll put an offer out, and someone will be like, hey, I'm interested. And I'll be like, you're so dumb. Why don't you do this all the time?
Every day. Yeah.
But I think it works for people like that. I feel like if I was too over the top and was like how I see some people acting, because I'll see some people and it's just bullshit. And I'm like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah. I think if you're coming from a place of like, if you're sincere and you're actually like believing in like what you're doing is going to help, you can't hurt. Like if your intentions are on point.
Yeah.
But like with what you were saying, you're either getting better or you're getting worse.
Yeah.
Like
that made sense with the going towards build up instead of what breaks down.
Yeah. This guy Wes has got a lot of.
I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah, go on YouTube.
Is that the dude that you met when you were out doing the jiu-jitsu stuff? That was cool. It was cool because I follow you, so you know. You're either in it with you or you're not. So like seeing the progression of where it was going and then seeing where you went and then finding this guy that you would post the stuff and you know, and then I was like, oh cool. And then when you went out to film, which is awesome because you're also doing that, like you were out there for filming a jiu-jitsu DVD, which is funny because you're like, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Like, and then you meet the guy who's telling you you're crazy because you have this, but I was like, yeah, that's fucking rad. Like that when I see people doing shit like that where you're like traveling and you're posting and then you're like meeting people that you're building businesses with and networking, like I get so fueled off of that. I'm like, dude, that when you posted that picture, I'm like, that moment was probably so fucking crazy for him that it just like overflowed that gas tank. Then you're out there for that, plus everything else going on with the school.
Yeah, what are the odds that I'm in fucking San Diego filming a jiu-jitsu DVD? Like that was actually one of the original reasons why I wanted to get in great shape, because like that shit is gonna last a long time. Like that course on Jiu-Jitsu X, which you can buy right now for half off this week. JujitsuX.com. Get that hitter. There's me, Zach, and Grace all have DVDs out on Jiu-Jitsu X. So if they're half off, you can buy me, Zach, Thor, and Grace's 4 DVDs for the price of 2. Go cop
That's
those.
crazy.
So that was the original reason I wanted to be in like brolic ass shape, because I knew I was gonna make a combat jiu-jitsu DVD, and I know how this little jiu-jitsu community is. They're all like, why didn't he get to make a combat jiu-jitsu DVD? I'm gonna fight him. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, come on, fight me then. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to get real serious. You know what I mean? Like, especially because I knew like I've made DVDs before, and then I wanted to know like, okay, when I make this one, I want it to look like, damn, that dude's definitely like about it. So I wanted to just look strapped, and I'm not cutting weight anymore for jiu-jitsu competitions. I think that's for the birds. I think that's for like kids and shit. No one wants to be smaller. No man in life wants to be smaller. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be bigger. I'd rather fight bigger dudes. I'm going to get bigger. So, but yeah, the odds of that I go out and film that DVD, I sign up for this dude's program to get jacked for the DVD. I go out to film it, and it's 5 minutes from where he works out.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you.
What are the odds of that?
I was going to ask you if he was also there or if that's where he's based out of.
No, he's from San Diego.
Yeah.
He grew up in Oceanside, California, which is where, like, one of the best 10th Planets is at 10th Planet Oceanside, run by Gio Martinez. He's from Oceanside, so he's, like, a totally different type. Like, he doesn't do jiu-jitsu or anything, but a lot of his clients do jiu-jitsu. Like, he's just, like, a fitness, you know, he's, like, getting guys jacked and stuff, like, mindset coach, basically. And, yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm going to be in San Diego next week. Like, that's not in the plan, like, for me to meet that guy. Like, no, I guarantee you 9 out of 10 guys that sign up for his program do not get to meet him like that. But I was out in San Diego anyway, and then he's like, yo, come work out with me tomorrow. And I'm like, bet. So I had to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning to go work out with Wes Watson. And
that must have been crazy.
Yeah, it was cool. I pull up in the car, like, you know, everyone was sleeping in the hotel, so I get up, I go in the car. There's Wes, like, sitting in the Lambo truck. Like, he's got like the craziest whips. He's got like 2 Rolls Royces. He's got like all these Lambos. And I'm like, oh fuck, like, I'm going to the gym. Like, there's Wes right there. He's like, what's up, dog? and he's on his phone already doing shit, you know, and it was cool. Like, you know, you could, like, he's an intense dude. You could definitely get, like, an intensity off of him, you know, but it was cool hanging out with him. Like, he chopped it up for a little bit, and like, I did my workout with this dude, I think his name's Julio, and I worked out with this one of his guys that, it's almost like one of his purple belts. It would be like another one of his guys that's kind of my size. Like, I'm not going to work out with him. He's like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I worked out with his buddy, and then I met a good friend there. Like, he still messages me to this day, like, because they found out who I was, and they were super impressed. They're like, damn, you're like a badass jiu-jitsu fucking black belt. Because, like, within the jiu-jitsu community, I don't feel like I am who I am in jiu-jitsu, obviously, but, like, there's, like, it's very, like, cliquey, and, like, people don't really give you your props within jiu-jitsu, you know? But when someone from outside of jiu-jitsu is like, damn, you're like some jiu-jitsu, combat jiu-jitsu, like jiu-jitsu and strikes, like, they're like, oh, fuck, like, you know, and then they look into all the stuff, you know, we're involved in, and they're like, damn, these guys are, you know. So, but like I said, like, you don't even give yourself that credit. Like, if you're not putting in work to feel that way, like, you're not gonna feel that way. Like, you have to earn that, and just because you earned it yesterday doesn't mean you're gonna earn it today. Like, you're gonna regress or you're gonna get better. Like, so it's like a whole thing. It comes down to every choice I make. Like, when I wake up in my wake up time, I wake up early in the morning, I go do my workout, you know. I have my breakfast, you know, you get that protein shake in, you do your lunch is healthy. You know what I mean? Your whole day you crushed. So when something stupid comes by and it's like, yo, you want to go drink at 3 o'clock before your jiu-jitsu class? I never did that anyway, but I'm just giving an example. Like, it's easy to say no to shit. Like, it's easy just to be like, nah, I'm doing some other shit, you know. And then you come into your jiu-jitsu class every time and it's packed because of what you're saying on like what I'm promoting on Instagram. It's just accountability and just basic. It's the most basic shit, just discipline. You learn that shit when you were 8, like when you were 5. Like, you know, if you don't give up and you work hard, you're gonna go somewhere. Like, that's just the most basic shit there is. Like, yeah, and you just hold your word to yourself. Like, how is anyone, you know, he has so many quotes. Like, how are you gonna give advice to people that don't want to be like you? Like, how are you gonna act like you're the shit, but no one wants to be like you, dude. You're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's gonna want to be like you. Like, and a lot of my messages for, like, I'm helping kids that are like 22 and they're broke, which sucks because they're all broke. You know what I mean?
Tough age too.
Yeah, it's rough, you know? So I just tell them, like, yo, grab your nuts and fucking go get something. You know what I mean? But it's all like congruent. Like, all the things in jiu-jitsu I'm doing, all the things with the weightlifting, all the things with it's all like, it all matches, you know? So yeah, but I'm doing that. I'm doing like more private lessons now because of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And like, people appreciate it, you know.
Well, people also, you know, they're also like emotionally connecting, or they might feel like they need that. So then if they come to a private, or if they start working with you or coming to your class, a part of that is going to break off into it. So, you know, then you start having people coming in that need help. And, you know, there's some people that probably want fitness, and there's probably other people that just need kind of a mentor because they're going through some fucked up shit. But that's got to be wild. Wild for you to be doing that now.
Hey.
I mean, you've accomplished so much up until now, and, you know, it's got to be weird at times where you don't know where to go because your accomplishments are so big, and then you don't kind of know where to go left and right. But then now when you can help people and be growing and fulfilling yourself in a whole, it's got to feel pretty incredible to just have it all coming together.
I know how it feels for like I know how jiu-jitsu works is like a lot of the time, like I'm getting like strength almost, or like I'm getting pushed because of people beneath me that look up to me, right? Like, they're kind of coming to me for guidance, and I'm kind of like, you know, I'm looking to other people for guidance. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I know like how that feels when people, like when you help people, it's not really like helping yourself, like all that shit. And that's another thing with this thing too, is like teaching people about money, like having good habits and having money. Like, when you're not spending money on beers and chasing chicks and eating out all the time, you have a lot of extra money.
You're not broke.
Yeah, you're not broke. So everyone's looking at me like, damn, how can I afford that? I'm like, because your habits fucking suck.
Yeah.
You have shit habits.
My car payment's what I was spending in beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could just have that much more money a month if you just didn't do all that other stuff. So, and I learned that too. I'm like, damn, I actually have money now. Like,
when I quit smoking cigarettes, it was like between $300 to $500 I was spending a month.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
That's crazy. That's a car payment. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
On something that was killing me while I have terrible asthma.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and it's So everything is like by choice. That's how society's kind of set up. Like you can fuck yourself up just by choosing it. Like just the whole thing with the vaccine. Like now it's coming out that shit didn't do nothing. Like we were talking shit on that so hard for so long, and now everyone's like looking at each other like, damn, did we fuck up getting this shit? It's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Like now you're getting AIDS if you get vaccinated.
Pete Davidson.
You're getting AIDS. AIDS in the vaccine. That's crazy. But I don't know. A lot of my family's vaccinated, so I just looked at them like, whatever. But now they're gonna come out like, yeah, you chose to do it. But like that's everything. Like the cigarettes, the alcohol, like it's just habits. You know what I mean? So what you do daily is gonna stack up over time. Like that was what jiu-jitsu taught me too. Like I did jiu-jitsu every day for how long? So now you're really good at jiu-jitsu. Okay, now what else do I want to get good at? Like that's because no one's steering your ship. So it's like kind of like what your vision is. Like that's kind of like it's like a guide. Like, okay, I want the tattoos, I want the muscles, I want the cars, I want the house. You know what I mean? I want the school. It's just simple. It's as simple as just following what you want. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like the most successful guy. I feel like I'm just getting started. I just don't need to fuck it up. I don't need to get a coke habit or start paying prostitutes or something. So I just avoid all that stuff, which is pretty easy, I feel like.
It's also like developing bad habits too. It's like weird little habits that start doing one thing and then it kind of bleeds into another, and then you start getting like behavioral patterns that then just start becoming like just things that you're doing and then you're slacking on. And it's like whenever I keep my pace up, like people will be like, I don't know how you're doing this all. And I'm like it's like I went to Connecticut yesterday. I had Barry before you. You came in here. Tomorrow I have Vita Company, and then Friday I have a podcast, and then there's something over the weekend, and then I'm still moving the studio, opening another business, and like we're gonna do a comedy show down here. Like
nice.
We're still like, and then people are like, I don't know how you're doing all this, and I'm like, this is the only way that I don't tilt.
You don't want to be.
I'll start tilting.
You don't want to be removed from your purpose.
No, and like
you'd rather be.
But like it's very much like what you said. Like I picture these things in my head, and then that now it's a goal. All right, well let's open this bagel place and let's move the studio and let's do all this stuff. And it's like, and then what's funny is people be like, you don't need to move the studio. What are you getting into a food business for? And they're all people who are just either not trying to do shit. Yeah. All my friends who are business owners are like, fuck yeah, gangster move, get that, go after money. Anyone else is usually like, I don't know if I'd take that risk. I'm really worried about what you're doing. And I'm like, well, I'm not, I don't want to do what you're doing. And it's not well, first of all, I find it funny that people will say that stuff to me, but I never say to them like, man, I really don't think you should have a 9-to-5 and sit there for 40 years until you maybe retire, because I know people that their businesses were bought out and now the retirement has gone back 20 years. And do you think you could do what you're doing till you're 70?
Yeah.
I don't fill your head with doubt. Why are you saying those things to me? Like, I have a really hard goal ahead of me, and I'm trying to tackle it the way I know how. I didn't go to school. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you learn shit. Like, and then you get into stuff like what you're doing, where it's like now you have this guy who's like building you up even more, and now you're going to take his tool set, turn it into yours, and then just be like, cool, now I'm just working even faster. I can't relate to people who aren't trying to do that on a daily basis.
Yeah, take what works. Soak that up, and then you're not going to use I'm not going to be Wes Watson. I'm not trying to be. You
shouldn't be.
Mini Wes Watson or mini Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
I think I did that when I was younger a lot. I would always try to be like Eddie Bravo, which I'm trying not to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, just taking what you can from people that just got some time on you, got some good experience, and they got results. A lot of people take advice from people with no results. Like, why would I listen to someone with no results? Like, where are your results? Do you have anything in the real world that's like physical that like otherwise why would I take your advice? So yeah, and just putting your money where your mouth is, that was huge. Like I learned a lot about that this year, and just this year I'm getting married, so that's like a big motivator, because like I know the wedding's gonna be like freaking expensive. Like everyone like, no, it's not gonna be an expensive wedding. It's like, it's gonna be an expensive wedding.
I've never heard that it's not gonna be expensive.
My grandmother wants to, my grandmother wants to bring 4 of her friends. Like I'm like, okay, that's gonna be like, what I'm saying. So it's just gonna get out of hand like it always does. But I'd rather, like I said, like you said, I'd rather just stay in line with my purpose. Like I feel better when I have a full plate. When I wake up, I get my workout before anyone's up. I have my second cup of coffee, protein shake. Now I got a coaching call at 8 a.m. Like I used to never take calls. You know what I mean? Like now I'm on Zoom calls with people. like just talking to them about, you know, they could eat this, or they could try, oh, well, try this this yogurt I like, you know, like, because some people have a hard time hitting their daily protein, and you're just helping people with the most basic shit. And you're, at the same time, you're like reiterating what you need to do at the same time, because I'm doing the same program. Like, I'm not doing anything different, you know?
I wanted to get into the diet because you make it seem so simple. Like when you started first posting it, I was like, oh, I could eat all that. It's just rice, chicken, broccoli. And then you stayed to that. And then you were like, I get it from 248 if you got excuses for like not having time to cook. But there's a lot of people who are busy and they'll say, oh, I don't got time to do that. And then when you started getting into the bison and everything, I was like, damn, this wouldn't be that difficult. No. You're not being like, hey, eat lettuce. And you know what I mean? Like you kept things that you wanted, and then you made it your own. And that was the main thing that I was like, this food, like the bison and the stuff you posted it today that you ate, like that looked so good. And I was like, I could totally eat that. And then like the more I keep following you, giving you the perspective from a follower, I'm like, yo, like he's breaking this down super simple. And if you just listen to him, and he's already got the blueprint, I'm like, you could achieve the goals that he's achieving.
Easy.
That's cool.
Easy.
It's cool watching it develop, man. I know you're just started on it.
It's very hard for people to just do what I tell them. A lot, like I'm learning that. Like some people, they like, oh, I don't want to do that workout. I want to do this workout. I'm like, just do my workout. Like, just do my workout. I know you want to do your workout, but we've tried what you've tried. You know what I mean?
They've tried what you. If it worked, they wouldn't be in touch.
Right. Like, just do what I've always been like that with my coaches. I've had tons of great coaches, and I've had some coaches that, some mediocre coaches, but I've always like just done what they said, and I've learned from that. I try to just stick to it for them. You know what I mean? Because because I think like if you're not sharing, like you want to get in tune with who you're getting coached by. Like you want to kind of think how they think. Like we've talked about that with like how me, Zach, and Grace don't even really have to say things to each other because we already know what we're already on. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the food is just all your macros. So I give you a certain point, like a certain.
What are macros for anyone who doesn't know?
Like macronutrients, like everyone that lifts weights or is trying to gain weight or lose weight. Macronutrients, like your protein, your fat, your carbs. So I give you an allotted amount of. I give you certain numbers. I give you your carbs, how much fat you can have, and how much protein you need to hit. And most people struggle with not going over their fat every day because they might have peanut butter in the morning, and that sets them up for just to be over their fat by the end of the day. Or they can't, like I struggled with not getting enough protein every day because most people that are like overweight, losing weight's easy. Building muscle, because I'm skinny fat. Like if I get out of shape, I get skinny fat, which means like just all my weight goes to my gut and I have no muscles. So, I realize I'm not like the most jacked guy ever, but I don't need to be that jacked. I'll choke you the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like fucking box your head in. I don't need to be like stiff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I have you log your food every day. Like I've had other people try to train me on this and like give me ideas. Like I know Hene one time gave me like, he's like, yo, track your meals in this. And he would like try to get like 3,000 calories every day. I don't eat nowhere near that. And I've gained muscle in 6 months like I've never done before. I've done all different types of weightlifting. I've never had something that like hit so quick, like just changed. It took me the first like 2-3 months. It was very little. And then
did you set it up, or was something he set up for you?
Because he sets it up.
He designed it for what you wanted.
You give me the weight, and then I have the number that corresponds with your weight and what your goal is. Like if you're trying to come up or come down. And then if you hit those numbers, 5-6 days a week, and you're lifting 5-6 days a week, I mean, it's just, and sticking to it. That's the problem. Like, oh, I don't have time today because this came up. Like, bro, you had one thing to get done today. And because then it's just, it builds into that confidence. It builds into a mindset where you're like, okay, you're stacking wins. Like you're stacking up wins every day. You did the workout. You had your meal first thing in the morning. I already won. It's 7 a.m. I already won this morning. Like, and it just comes across in everything else you're doing. You're confident. Like,
keeps you going the rest of the day. If you kind of give up early, then it's okay to give up on other shit too.
Exactly. And you feel it. Like you'll feel like when you have that shit, like, dude, if you eat a cheeseburger, like if you eat like shit for lunch, you're going to feel it, dude. Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have did that. And
need to go to sleep.
That regret is exactly what you need to stop doing. Like anything you're regretting is exactly what you need to cut out. But, Yeah, once you start stacking those wins, and then you learn to stack them, you know, daily. You can learn to stack them weekly, and then monthly. And next thing you know, you put in like I can. And the app I use, you punch in every number. So like when you do,
So he has an app built for the program as well.
Right. So like I send you I have you download the apps. I have you and you punch in like, okay, I did this many reps at this weight. I did this many reps at this weight, and it has everything you need to do. And if you do exactly what it says, then you know you can start to deviate. Like I know when I first started with the food, I would only eat chicken and rice pretty much. Like the first 2 weeks. Because I wanted to get results quick, so I knew if I ate chicken and rice, I would see something quick. So 2 weeks, that only lasted like 2 weeks eating chicken and rice. I can eat chicken and rice for lunch. I will refuse to eat chicken and rice for dinner.
Yeah.
I refuse.
What did you do? Eat it for lunch and dinner?
Yeah, I ate lunch, dinner, and then I had breakfast. I would do like a oatmeal. Yeah. And I still do. I still do the oatmeal in the beginning of the day. I do like Kodiak oatmeal, like they make that protein oatmeal.
I always see that brand floating around.
Yeah,
it seems like
they crush. They do like protein pancakes too. They're really good. And then I'll do like a couple protein shakes. I mean, it's the most basic shit. It's just
I think that's the best way though for especially like people like myself or people that are watching that are interested or they're looking for a plan when something starts getting too complicated for someone that in their head is such a large goal because they feel so big or that, you know, they want the drastic change and they want to see the results. When you start getting into like way too much shit, as coming from somebody who's trying to do something and it's going to be hard for them, it's not.
Quit.
Yes.
And you're only doing it twice a week. You're not going to feel a difference. Where this is like a lifestyle change. This is almost going to feel like, okay, I don't even live like that old guy, like the old dude before. That's not the same guy. Like, and then you're kind of like your time set up where like you have energy to do other things, and then you're stronger, you're fitter, and then like maybe on the weekend, like on the Sunday, I do get that meal where I'm like I have a beer and a whiskey and a big meal. Oh, I love it. You know
like
what I mean?
When you came down for the pizza pop up, you were like, you were out getting a drink, and I was like, dude, come down. And then you had pizza, and you're like, yeah, I fucking earned this shit. Yeah. You're like, I fucking earned it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I follow you. Definitely
6
do.
days, you know, and you, like I said, it's just you stack those wins up, and then once you're past that point of like you got into a great shape that you're happy with, it's not the end of the world if you cheat. But if you're just starting and you're trying to lose weight, that's when it's just finding your fucking discipline, like just grabbing your nuts and just being disciplined about it. That's what separates someone like a guy that's making like a lot of money versus a guy that's just habits, like how they spend it, and it starts with, okay, the food you're eating, like what you're watching on the TV, like all that shit. Like you're just, I don't know, you just it's getting rid of bad shit and just, I don't know. Simple. It's really simple. Like, and that's the same thing with my jiu-jitsu. Like I've learned that over with jiu-jitsu. That's why I liked it, because it's kind of the same mentality I take with my jiu-jitsu. Like I used to be all into these crazy moves that looked cool, and that don't do shit. You know what I mean? Like, what's effective in combat is fucking simple. Like it's simple. What's effective in business? You ever like go pay for a business conference and they tell you like, hey, why don't you just keep yourself clean shave and, be presentable. The most basic shit, they just give you the confidence to go do what they just told you to do, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You're paying for shit you already know how to do, But people act like they're getting hustled all the time, like when they pay for something, like, I'm getting tricked. It's like, no, dude, you're paying for fucking the result you're going to get. Like, do you think a guy like me that, like, do I make more money now that I'm, like jacked, like that I feel better about myself? Like I might not be like crazy, but I feel better. I spent $1,300. Do you think I made that $1,300 back? It was no problem. I made, because all my habits too changed. Like we said with like the drinking and shit, like you're not like that Friday night, just one night, like everyone starts, like everyone thinks they don't, like, oh, I'll drink on Thursday night. You drink 4 days out of the week. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you don't drink. When you drink on Thursday and you drink all weekend, that's 4 out of 7 that you're drinking. So now if you make it to like Saturday afternoon without drinking, now you're only drinking a day and a half out of so it's a big change. Like, you know what I mean?
It's crazy watching people that are stuck where they're like going to the, I have not so much anymore because I'm a little bit older, but, and I used to do it myself, and I look at people now and I'm like, damn, I remember when I was fucking stuck in that. You don't even know you're in it. No. You know what I mean? It's like you're just doing it. And then when you know, like when you were saying about people who were like, you know, like, oh, is he just trying to take my money? Those are also built-in excuses for you to keep going
Right,
on the
same
fucking,
spot.
you know, the 5-day-a-week drinking, and you
you're gonna
just want to keep doing it.
You're gonna suffer. That's what's gonna make the change. Is you're gonna suffer. You're gonna have to suffer enough to be like, okay, that's it.
I'm
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not suffering like that
you have
anymore.
To, you have to
Yeah.
continue to suffer. Really, like you're just gonna stay in that spot until you decide to be like do something drastic. You know, so it's there. I don't really even push it. That's just extra for me. Like my school pays for everything I have. Like it's fine. Like I'm not like I bought the charger. I can afford it. It's not the end of the world. I'm not like, oh my God, I need to, you know. Am I out here to get paid? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like I'm out here to do, but it's like all good because it's like if I help people get the results they want, you know, that's like I earn it and it's gonna, you know, it's all good. But yeah, the one guy I have, Phil, he's down like 12 pounds in a month. He's down 12 pounds in a month. So all he wanted to do was stop drinking during the week. He's got 3 kids. He runs a real estate thing. I'm sorry, I'm blowing up a spot. But he dropped 12 pounds. I got 2 guys in me that are kind of skinny that never strength train. They lift every weekday. They're lifting 5 days a week now. And like I can tell like their wives watch my Instagram because they know that like I'm always tagging them in the pictures and stuff. So yeah, I just know what it did for me, and it's awesome, and it's helped me and teach jiu-jitsu better, and like now I'm like rolling like 8-10 rounds instead of like being done with 5. So like guys hit me up like, you know, I want to have more jiu-jitsu students. I'm like, okay, well you're kind of slightly out of shape. Do you think if you were in peak physical shape and you just lived like a goddamn samurai, that like if you just lived in like a monk, you would have. If your body could handle having another 100 students, if I gave you 100 students right now, could you handle rolling with 100 people every week? And the answer is no, because you're not in that kind of shape. You know what I mean? Like if it's like someone winning the lottery. Like if you won the lottery, if I won the lottery right now, it would kill me. Like my habits suck. Like it wouldn't, it would fucking kill me. You know what I mean? Like it would kill a lot of people. Most people it just fucks over if you win that much money because you're not ready for it. It takes all the time of building yourself up to being someone that can handle some shit like that. You know, so that's something, and another thing too is a lot of people that don't even want to come in and train in my jiu-jitsu class because they're not ready physically for it. Like my advanced class, everyone in my advanced class is like some type of weight training because it's just everyone's so fucking strong. You know what I mean? There's just so many people that are, so it's like intimidating for people that aren't in shape to start something. So I kind of came up from that perspective too, like okay, if I got people in like really good shape, maybe they would go snowboarding now, or maybe they would go try kick, you know what I'm saying? Like you do stuff like that too, like because you're just fitter. I don't know, you're just like, okay, I feel better. Yeah.
Where are you at with do you want to compete still? Is that something?
No.
You done with it?
Not if they don't, I mean, they don't pay you.
Yeah.
If you're not one of the best motherfuckers to ever live, like half these guys got ADD and like, you know, I don't know. Like it's for kids, you know? I enjoy running the tournament and watching. I enjoy running the tournament. You know, combat jiu-jitsu is super illegal. Like there's no commission. I'm just going to do it one time and just let people slap fight each other.
Fuck yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Like if you've ever seen a jiu-jitsu tournament, imagine what it's like when they can hit each other.
It's probably crazy.
It's much spicier.
Super intense.
Yeah, it's a little more intense, you know. People are scared of it. Some of the guys, you know, and for what I've done in jiu-jitsu, like most guys won't even venture into the realm I ventured into, and to act like I have anything more to do is like kind of like I even came back, like the guy I hit that spin move on, you know, that Berimbolo I hit to choke that guy out. That guy fought a dude for a combat jiu-jitsu championship, like at EBI. And like 2 weight classes higher than I did. And I choked that guy out. So to me, it's like kind of the book was shut right there. Like when I beat Bobby Emmons, I kind of felt like, okay, I definitely just, because I would lose every time I'd go out to like Mexico or Cali or some shit. But they'd always like switch out my opponents and shit. You know, and everyone that goes out and competes there has no idea who they're fighting. I'm not making excuses, but it was just kind of like it's just, you know, I fought really tough guys when I went out there. They threw the book at me. It's kind of a trial by fire type thing. So I feel like now I'm on the other end of it. I'm jacked. I'm not cutting down to 35 ever again. I'm never going to be 135 pounds ever again. I'm like walking at 165. And then I competed last year. They gave me like John Combs, who's like this huge fucking guy. He's like, he won ADCC trials. Like, they give me, like, the people love seeing me get my ass beat or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, they throw the fucking book at me. But, and then I see other guys getting, you know, you shouldn't compare because it's not.
Well, it's hard. You're the one that's in the middle of it.
I am who I am. And there's this quote that this other guy I like where he says, like, you get punished at the level you carry yourself on. You know, like, because I carry myself at this level where I'm the instructor of this big school and I run we run the tournament, and, you know, I'm a name. Like, whether I realize it or not, people do definitely, like, pay attention to me, like, without me realizing it. And, you know, so when I come out, it's always like, I know that was another thing, like with the weightlifting, like, I can't be at peace. I really can't even be at peace in my own brain, in my own mind, if I'm not, like, almost like exhausted all the time. Like, if I'm not pushing myself, I feel like shit. Like, I'll drive myself crazy. And that's when everyone's gonna want to fight you. Like, I've learned that. Like, people have always asked for matches with me, like when I'm on vacation or like when I'm chilling, or like they see on my Instagram, like, I'm not really in great shape. That's when all of a sudden everyone wants trying to pick a fight with me. Like, oh, I'll come let's see if JM will say yes. I've learned that over the years. No one says fucking shit to me about a fight these days. You know what I mean? Because I know how I'm carrying it myself now. Like, let's fucking go now. I don't see anyone fucking asking me to do shit now that I'm fucking ripped. You know what I mean? Lifting every day. It was when I was like feeling like shit, miserable. That's when everyone was coming out the woodwork to fucking fight me. So now I'm at peace. I don't have to fucking fight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to. Like, if you want to fight, like, it's going to be a good one. I know when I come out to compete again, it's going to be they don't give me fucking easy ones. You know what I mean? And sometimes when I win, I make it look easy, but most people couldn't fucking do that to Bobby Emmons. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's a big jacked white dude. Black belt.
I want to get into a couple more things, then we'll wrap it up. I just don't want to keep you here all day. I know you're busy. You trademark Train or Don't?
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, yes. Anytime anybody's like moving towards doing things with that. What are your plans with that? Are you going to do like apparel? Do you have ideas with it? Like, because it kind of can coexist in all of this. And I wanted to just bring it up.
It's right into like the jiu-jitsu and the weight training thing that I'm doing. But yeah, actually, there's this clothing brand I saw because Zach was bugging me to like kind of get in to Train or Don't apparel, because I know Zach really crushes with apparel. We have people wear our apparel all over the place. You know, a guy was at our gym and he had this apparel line, and it's the first one I've ever seen where I was like, if I had an apparel line, it would look like that artwork. It had like it was all like kind of spiritual shit, like mushroom shit. Like the one shirt they have is sick. It's called True Path. You can follow them at True Path Jiu-Jitsu, and it says True Path right here, and it's got the dude from Vietnam who lit himself on fire. You know that guy? And it says spirit is everything on it. It's a sick shirt. It's got yin yangs all over it. So like the Train or Don't logo is a yin yang. And I was like, bro, like blah blah blah. We started chopping it up. He's like a white dude with tattoos, and he's like kind of like a risky youth type of guy that got into jiu-jitsu, kind of saved his life, and now he does this apparel to all the money goes to like at-risk youth signing up for jiu-jitsu. So basically it pays a gym to train a guy off this apparel. So we're doing a collab shirt. It's coming out. He's actually getting them tomorrow. So that's coming out tomorrow. That we've been working on that. So it's at True Path Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sure I'll have some on hand to sell. But yeah, Train or Don't is trademarked. I don't even because that hashtag, if you look up that hashtag, it's got like 8,000 like mad people use hashtag Train or Don't to promote their jiu-jitsu school just because of I don't know. So I trademarked it because I did see like guys are just taking the logo and putting on a hoodie for themselves.
Yeah, I saw that
at
too.
this point.
That's why when you saw trademark,
like, I'm like, oh fuck, I better get on, you know, because I didn't touch it for so long. But it's almost like when you touch it, that's when it's gonna get whacked though.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard with that stuff. I mean, I did the apparel and would never again. And I mean, that's so personal and a part of me. I'll never stop doing. I'll do one T-shirt a year. But
right.
You know, when you did that, I saw that you were letting it breathe and you were letting it kind of, you know, you can't just like what you said. If you would have just did it for what it was back then, I don't know if it would still be here.
Yeah.
And then now that you're like getting all this stuff together, I was like, oh man, this works, because now it's like you can do that apparel and have like, you know, there's so much you could do with that for what you're doing now, and it's totally resonating into like this version of you that's out is, in my opinion, that's what is 100% what means Train or Don't,
right?
Because it's almost like you've held yourself to a standard of what you wanted that apparel brand to be, and now this is it.
Yeah. Had to get there first.
Yes,
You can't just train or don't for a year and a half.
But that's the shit. That's the shit that people don't see.
No.
And that I always try and point out in an interview is like, there's always the in between. It's always what makes these interviews good. And it's like, well, everybody just thinks shit comes to easy for people because they're posting it on Instagram and like, oh, well, it's just train or don't. It's a real simple philosophy. It's like, you had to go through your own shit to get to what train or don't meant to you.
Right. Yeah. The results come on their own. Like the results are totally out of your hand. Like when you're in line with everything, like when you're in line with, what you're doing, like, okay, like this is my higher purpose. This is my vision here. And the way I acted day in, day out is in line with that, then the results are a byproduct of that. They're going to come on their own. It's not even people are going to come into your life. Like I know, like I've noticed that, man. Like there's been people popping in my life recently where I'm like, what the fuck? Like dudes know my first name and they're like legends. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's crazy. Like, so, the results are out of your hands. Like when you're like stressing about the result, man, you're not even working on you're not even in the work. Like when you're at work, like you're out of your own way at that point.
Yeah. Like
just do the work, stick to the blueprint. Like it's already right there for you. You know what I mean? We got our moves on our wall. I got DVDs out with the same moves, all our moves that we've been practicing for 10 years. It's not that, I've been learning that too. Like my advanced class, my jiu-jitsu advanced class, there is no fucking advanced jiu-jitsu. It's just jiu-jitsu. It's jiu-jitsu that advanced jiu-jitsu is fundamental jiu-jitsu done at a high level, like through repetition and like years of practice. Like that's how, and it's just like anything. You can't pick up fucking Mortal Kombat and just play expert mode the first time. You're going to get crushed. You're going to be like, this game sucks. You have to like practice your combinations. It's just this, it's the same thing with any endeavor in life. You're gonna have to put your time in, like there's no skipping that. No one's gonna let you in front of them for nothing, right? Like you have to fucking earn your fucking spot, and then so yeah, it's all matches, like I said, and it's all working together real nice. The train or don't thing's gonna, I might do like a t-shirt or something, or like we did the collab t-shirt, and I was thinking almost of doing something where like once you did a certain amount of time with my fitness thing, where I'd like kind of I'd give you like a blue train or don't shirt, you know what I mean? Like an actual ranked, like where you actually train, you put in a certain amount of time, actually, like I know you trained hard and like ate right, and so
that's a dope
there's
idea.
A lot of ideas, you know what I mean? Like because it's my brand, you know what I mean? Like I have the red sweatpants. I don't want anyone else to have my red sweatpants or my red sweatpants. Like,
yeah.
Like you can have blue ones, you can have some other color, but you ain't getting the red ones. Drew made me those.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, like, and I know those guys responding to it, like Drew and Arseny and even Zach, like all these guys, they're kind of see my vibe pick up, and like Arseny just dropped like a couple bucks on new mats for his place. Like he always had those shitty puzzle mats. He just came to our school and picked up a bunch of Fuji mats, so he's gonna have new mats in his place. Drew came through and took my class on Friday, and he's like all psyched and shit. Yeah. So people know I'm working hard. I'm just putting it out there that like you just can't fuck with me.
Did you guys travel to another school as well?
Yeah, I went to Shaolin Riberos. Vitor, imagine your name Shaolin. That's what they call you, Shaolin. This dude is, and this is almost like a thing, because I was asking Dave Weintraub, who's like a guy, like a really good guy that I'm training with all the time, and me and him are always bouncing ideas off each other. He did Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds and did real well this last time, and Shaolin is his instructor, so he took us to, he's like, yo, Shaolin wants you guys to come through and train with him. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we packed the car. It's like an old road trip. Like we got in Dave's.
When I saw that, I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah,
getting some roots.
I missed
stuff.
that shit.
Yeah.
We got Dave in Dave's shitty car that that can barely fit 4 people in it. Me, Jimbo, and Sid, and Dave. And then I come into the school, and then Dave already talked to Shaolin that I was being there. So Shaolin comes up to me. He's like, "JM, thank you so much." Blah blah blah. He's like telling me all these things. I'm like, this dude knows my first name. This is crazy. And then he teaches class, an awesome class. Shaolin is like he took 3rd at ADCC, but like he lost to like Marcelo Garcia or some shit. Like when Marcelo won, Marcelo's like the greatest of all time, right? And Shaolin was almost like a Grace Gundam, where he was like a young kid that like got his black belt like lightning fast, and he's like a 42-year-old man now. So he's a dude that's been, from the time he was 14 years old to now he's 42, he's been doing jiu-jitsu, living that life. And he beat my fucking ass. He tapped me in 6 minutes, bro. He's probably like 175 pounds. And I'm in great shape. You know what I mean? I'm probably like 164, 162. And he rolled me for 6 minutes, and I was just hitting him with everything. He let me do the same thing 3 times. We were going back and forth, and we were doing our thing, and then I got out on the 3rd time. He knew what I was going to do, and I watched him, like, because in jiu-jitsu, everything's limb for limb. Like, everything's one-on-one. Like, it's my arm versus your arm. Like, you know what I mean? And your legs versus your legs. Everything's like, so if you're like way stronger than me, you can just like my arm can't do anything to your arm. Like, you ever arm wrestle with someone that just like crushes you?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but with the whole body. So he like moved my arm, and I watched him do it. I was like getting out, and I'm like, uh-oh. And he like literally just moved. People don't tap me. Like, I get tapped, but like not like this, like not just controlled and just played, you know? And he just put me in a Kimura, and I was like, damn, man, gotta give it up. And then all of his students proceeded to try to whoop my ass. They couldn't, but he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
all of his, like, he had like some good black belts there and some good upper belts that were like in, you know, everyone's in shape. If you've been doing jiu-jitsu long enough, like, you have to, because it's gonna be a choice. You're either gonna get better at jiu-jitsu, or you're gonna, like, you can't, like, if you drink and do jiu-jitsu when you're younger, that might work. But, like, you can't be hungover coming to jiu-jitsu.
Drinking and being older works with nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. You're just going to get fucked.
Hungover for 4 days.
Not going to happen. So you learn, like, okay, if I'm going to continue to get better at jiu-jitsu, this shit's got to go. So, but a lot of guys like that, man. This one dude I was rolling with was absolutely strapped. Like, I couldn't imagine going to a school and not being in the shape I'm in. Like, if I wasn't in the shape I was in already, I wouldn't even show. I would get embarrassed. I'm a black belt. I'd get embarrassed.
That car ride home was probably a blast. Bullshitting about it the whole day.
Oh, no. The car ride there is fun. The car ride home is very quiet. Everyone's just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're dead from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That's that peace that everyone enjoys. You know what I mean? Just that quiet car ride home and just chilling.
Yeah, it's the whole reason I go hiking and do all that shit is I don't feel I have control until, you know, I either beat it. I love long format cardio. That's how like I get all that shit out. Like I'm planning on, I want to do from Wing Gap to Point Phillips. It's like a 15 to 20 mile hike through the Appalachian.
Awesome.
Like I've done every part, but like this summer, it'll probably take me half a day, and then when I accomplish that, I might try and do an overnight. It gets weird with like animals and shit, but you know, that's kind of the I'm definitely getting that. I'll probably bring my gun as well. You know, that appeal of it being risky, I like, but I love my long format cardio. But when I do that, the ride home, you're just like, and you can think, and then things don't bother you, and then, you know, I don't want to drink, and I don't want to do anything, because all I want to do is you're at peace, and that's all you're looking for.
Well, that's where your best stuff is going to come from. Yeah, when you're like your best thinking is right after the training, or right after, you know, a lot of the time when I'm weight training, I'm like in the gym by myself, and like I'll think about something, and I'll just be repping through it, and you know, your answer will come to you, or, you know, after training, you think really clear. You know,
I was always able, and I didn't realize it, is that when I started doing Never Again, I was running 8 miles every day. And when I would do that, I didn't realize I was like learning a process of thinking, because you're burning out all this crazy stuff going on. And then I realized that that's when I do my best creating, is when you have that time, that hour, or you're just exercising and you're going through things, but then you're breaking it down, and then by the time you're done, the thought process goes from like an erratic circle to something that makes sense. And then once I kind of figured that out, it's like, you know, I started getting back on the treadmill and shit like that, and I'm like, all right, you know, like let's do your thinking here, because you know, when I'm down here, sometimes there's too many distractions.
You're in control of your frequency. You're in control of your vibration. Like, that's a real thing. Like, if someone's vibing real low, everyone knows it, whether they say it or not. Everyone knows. Everyone can pick up on that. Like, what the fuck? They don't want nothing to do with that guy. He's like, you know, versus someone that's vibing up here, everyone wants a piece of. Yeah. So you can control that. Once you learn to control that, you know, Wes Watson does, like, the second he has a negative thought, he just fucking starts doing burpees. He'll do like he'll just start beating his ass with burpees. Like,
Yeah.
fucking
Shit works, though.
100 burpees, and then be in a bad mood when you're out of breath. It's really hard to be in a bad mood. So
Yeah.
and then it all just turns into choices, you know, the food, the vices, the habits, you know, it's all so, and it's helping with my jiu-jitsu too. It's the same thing in everything. So yeah, I'm doing that. So if you were interested in like online coaching for fitness, you can hit me up on my Instagram. I'm at DocHolland911. I'm pretty much everything you need from me is at DocHolland911 on Instagram. I'm doing stuff on YouTube. I'm starting to try to put like narrated roles on YouTube or like just any kind of content out there.
Yeah.
For YouTube. You know, this is out there. So that's cool. My school, Finishers headquarters. I know Thor's opening a bigger school in Allentown, so there's going to be another spot in Allentown. But there's literally like no excuse. Like literally if you don't, like you can train with Bryant, Ricky. There's like 10 guys hustling out of that headquarters.
It's an incubator.
It's crazy. People are going to be running businesses all over the place off that. We are opening a cafe out of that now. My idea for a restaurant would just be like a noodle stand vibe, you know, like a stand, but it would just be like beef, chicken, and fish in a bowl of rice with like vegetables. And I bet you that would crush. That would crush a million times because everyone's looking to eat just clean one time. Like, where can you go fucking eat clean for lunch right now? And there's not many places like where I could just like go get, you know, you go to the grocery store to eat clean. You don't go out to eat clean. Most people, you know, like
We could probably figure it out and do a pop-up at a tournament.
It would crush. Like
A couple rice cookers, grill the chicken off.
Yeah, and that would crush, you know. So yeah, well, we did that out in San Diego. Like we would order food at this place, and it was like a Korean place. It was just beef with sauce and rice. And I was like, why don't we have this at our house? You know, but yeah, I don't know. Check me out on Tiger King, right? You can check me out on Tiger King. Hand tattoos, chargers, babies, houses. It's all got to match. So that's what we're up to. I don't know. Did I miss anything? That True Path shirt at True Path. It was, you know, it's good. I didn't mean to cut you off by like plugging myself.
No, I was going to wrap it up, so we're just going to do it backwards.
We've been talking the same. We've been talking the same loop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's just positive choices. You know what I mean? And then you start making those choices, and then people around you start making better choices. It's just because that's what it's like when you're better, especially when I have the family and shit. Like controlling my vibe is huge because I don't want to be that dad. Like, you know, that classic dad that comes home all miserable from work and is like just fucking taking it out on their wife and kid. That fucking sucks. You know, so. Being responsible to my energy and like just coming in and just being like, even if the female's tripping, it's just like you're just like Buddha, you know what I mean? Like nothing can move me, you know, because I'm too exhausted to even give a shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's cool, and I'm not saying I have it like figured out or anything like, but that's the path I'm on right now, and I'm gonna just stay on that and see where it takes me. I bet you we end up all right.
No, I believe you will be. It's been a blast watching the evolution and the different things that you get into, and I love what you're doing, and you've got it all wrapped together. And then just to see where this goes from there, is always motivating. And I always tell everybody, always having you and Zach in front of me, it's always trying to catch up, and you need that, and you need other business people and ideas. And you're more than welcome to come on here anytime, man.
Thanks, man.
You have definitely the special privilege of coming on the show.
Fuck yeah.
We started this years ago, and I just told someone the other day, I go, now everybody's got a food podcast, and they're doing all this shit, and all this other stuff's going on. And I said to them, when I started this, I said there was one other person in the Valley doing this show correct, and it was Zach and JM doing the Finishers podcast. And I said, it's crazy. That was like 6-7 fucking years ago. And now that I'm the next place is a TV studio. Have fun recreating that.
Yeah. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. I was like, it's not a podcast anymore. There's a show. Yeah. It's a produced show. Yeah, it always has been, but I mean, the slogan, we always just did it as a dick around where it's like, let's overproduce the shit out of the show.
Yeah, look how that worked out for you. You know what I mean? Like
they wouldn't have chose to put fucking a Zoom call on Tiger King. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like they chose that because the audio was correct, the video was correct, and they didn't stumble upon that shit on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like somebody watches, or you know, that would have been impossible for them to rake and pull that clip out of there. I'm still intrigued on how that ended up there. I talked to a couple people.
Bro, the way people see shit sometimes is really crazy. Like, I definitely would not underestimate your reach. You know, I've definitely been caught doing that, where I've definitely like underestimated like the power I have and like the influence.
Yeah, people stop me now and they'll be like, not a lot, but like they'll be like, "Hey, I love the show," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
like, you listen,
dude. One time, this guy got me instantly laid. Like it was amazing. Like we were on a date. We went to go see Joey Diaz in New Jersey, and I had a 10th Planet shirt on. And we were walking, and it was a casino, and a kid goes, "You're J.M. Holland." He knew me by my fucking name. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Because, like, he's in Philly, so he's like, if you follow 10th Planet, if you're into jiu-jitsu like that, if you're into Eddie Bravo's little channel of jiu-jitsu, you might know who I am. So it's kind of like, yeah.
That's
I don't
funny.
know. It's the work instills the work, you know? If you're not putting the work in, you're not going to feel like that. So once you kind of get a taste for that kind of shit, you just rather keep your foot on the gas, you know?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Of course. If you're a first-time listener, first-time watcher, it's neveragainstudio.com. That has everything we do. Subscribe to the YouTube, Never Again Studio on YouTube, and the apparel's on there. Everything's on there. Go check it out. Go follow him. I have all of his links. Go get into his shit. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
You're the man, dog.
Yep.
No sweat.
Later, brother.
Oos.
Never Again Radio. Get into it, brother.